Time now for CURES. We are talking about little kids and big emotions. It certainly can be really hard as a parent to know how to respond when our children are dealing with all kinds of emotions. Sometimes we get triggered too. A new children's book tackles that important topic. So here to tell us more about it is author Jessica Bubbico with The Magic of You. Jessie Lou and The Magic of You.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
You know, when you reached out to me, I immediately thought, gosh, this is something parents need. I think it's so hard when your child, toddler or teen, is having a big meltdown to know how to stay grounded and nurture them instead of react.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, big emotions, I think we've been taught that when we have big emotions, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Versus being able to see it as like an emotion is energy in motion. So we need to give it the space to move.
Oh, say that again. An emotion is an energy in motion.
In motion. So motion, energy in motion.
Okay. No emotion's bad. So anger, let's talk about anger. I mean, kids get really angry and that can be tough to deal with.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, anger is something that I experience as well. I think anger shows us where our boundaries are. And sometimes we need to be able to experience it, let it move. Typically, the life cycle of an emotion is only 60 to 90 seconds.
I've heard that before, that if we were to breathe through it, our emotion actually doesn't last very long.
Yeah.
And that's something that you hope by doing this book, we can sort of learn and teach our kids.
Exactly. So in the book, what I did is I put, it's obviously called Jessie Lou. My dad called me Jessie Lou growing up. And so it was based off of my own experiences with big emotions. And so basically what I did with the book, my background is in speech pathology. So I know how important it is to not just read a story, but to then have actionable steps for parents to be able to do at home.
Yeah.
And to have something that's fun and beautiful and colorful. I did not do the illustrations. A woman named Danny Summerfield did. They're incredible.
Oh my gosh,
this helps, I think,
beautiful.
Parents and kids to be able to relate to the content a bit more, and then to be able to have that 5-step process to go, okay, big emotions here. What are we going to do first? We're going to move our bodies. We're going to get into our bodies. We're going to wiggle around, let the emotion be there. Okay, next, let's sit down. Let's identify the emotion. I actually put an emotion chart in there. So parents and kids, it's called the Gus emotion chart because the character is named Gus in the book, the dog. So
what does it feel like in your body? Where do you feel it? If you had a color, a sound, or a flavor, what would it be?
Yeah.
That's like, and it literally says before the breath and after the breath. So it's really, I mean, it's a children's book, but it's simple because adults don't really know this either.
Oh, 100%. The number of adults I've had messages come in through that go, oh my gosh, I wish I had this book when I was a kid.
Like it's for us too.
100%. I'm like, it's for me still. Like I was a little nervous before coming on here and I was like, I'm going to move my body with the break dancers, which by the way, were so cool. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to move my body. Let me take a couple deep breaths. Let me let the emotion move through. And now I can be here and be present with you.
Yeah. So you teach this. I mean, you've had to, as a speech pathologist, you've worked with all kinds of kids, special needs, everything. So but it's something that you realize that it's really lacking. I know schools are trying to do a little bit more emotional intelligence, but we're not really teaching kids how to cope. We're just telling them that they need to.
Exactly. So that's why, again, I put this simple 5-step process to first off be able to identify the emotion and then be able to move it and come back into center. Because it's not about like staying stuck on the emotion and then overly trying to like, you know, squeeze all of the juice out of it. It's like feel it, let it be a normal bodily process, and then we can start to work through what we do once the emotion passes through.
Right, because that initial really big emotion may not be, there's probably more reason underneath it. So Jessie Lou, let me teach you something simple you can do to help you feel better once you felt your emotions through. Now that you felt your sadness and had a big cry, I'll teach you something new. Let's give it a try. And then it just talks about putting your hand and heart on your belly and counting. So there's really practical, actionable steps that if you were to read this enough times, you're actually educating your kids, which is so amazing.
Exactly. And the hope is you read it with your kids enough times that they're able to do this at school.
They learn.
Daycare, with friends. We're
going to take a deeper dive on the CURES podcast. We're going to talk a little bit more about the book and also all of your expertise in helping us through emotions and how we can really teach this to our kids. So, but in the meantime, Jessie Lou and The Magic of You is available right now on Amazon. All you do is look for it there or go to jessieloubooks.com, on Instagram at Jessie Lou Books as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.